Good morning, welcome to part 3. Today, while we're waiting for the guy to come for the steels, we're going to do some plumbing. So just to explain, this is the old waste which we disconnected in the previous video in part 1 on the outside. So this will need removing and concreting in. This is the mains in from the street. It's 20mm MDPE pipe. And this is the stop tap for the house, which we changed in another video because it was leaking. I'll put a link above. And then we've got hot from the boiler, and then we've got cold to the rest of the house. So we marked out here. We're gonna smash out all this screed, get in, see what the pipes are like, and then reorganize this because the edge of the sink unit is here and the dishwasher is going to go here, so you can't have these pipes around the dishwasher, and this doesn't look very neat anyway. So we're going to neaten it all up, clip it to the wall so that there's no pipes inside the cupboard, just handles. Right, so we've excavated this. We're going to put a bend on here, another bend hopefully, and bring that up flat against the wall for a new stop tap. Remove all this, but while we're excavating, you see the same problem that we had before, where the protection on the pipe is just almost non-existent. So look at this green. That's corrosion eating through the pipe like we had before. Right, Dave is taking this radiator off. Professional plumber that he is. We've now made up the floor here, so you can see it's all filled in. All the pipes set up, so hot and cold, outside stop tap, and then connection for the dishwasher and main stop tap. A lot better than before. And then I'll connect on the bonding for the electrics after. So now we're going to work out where the new positions of the radiators are going to be. One there, and I think one is going to stay here. But we're going to renew the pipework under the floor. So this was where we found the leak before. So we're going to put all new plastic piping in, so all the new radiators all the way back as much as we can. So we're just preparing for tomorrow when we slice into the screed. Well, it's snowing. Who would have thought it? But it's a good opportunity to test the waterproofness of the window. It seems fine, no problems. So if ever you're considering fitting a Sunlux window as opposed to a Velux, then yeah, it was easy to fit. some small variations and details, but not worth the price difference, to be honest. It's quite a good one. Anyway, what we're doing today, so we're laying out the runs for the new radiator. So you're going to have a horizontal radiator along here. We're going to have a vertical there and another vertical up here. In order to do that, we're going to channel the floor. So I'll just lay these out. We're going to have, there's two 22mm pipes that we've discovered from last time we were here. So we're going to keep those up to there in copper. So the only old pipework on this side of the house is just going to be this little bit here in this area. So we can minimize any problems down the line. Then we're going to do all this in plastic back to this junction here, which is the one we dug up before. And it's going to follow this track to the new valves and also carry on to following this track to here for the radiator. Run the laser between the two. We'll draw a square on the floor, and it just so happens it's exactly where we want it and in line with those radiator valves. So we've got a choice on how to do that. Right, so we have the large angle grinder, but the main problem with that is the dust. To cut all these lines in the screed, the dust will be amazing. So what we're going to use is the petrol saw. Like this, but we're going to connect on the water suppression for the dust, which goes inside, sprays water inside the blade. So hopefully that's going to keep the dust to the minimum. Highly technical. Right. So in there, look, they supply the heating. There you go. They're off. So I'll put those in when there was a leak in the floor. Have a look at the video. It's quite interesting. It's saving us so much time now. So that's good. I think Dave wants to go on the petrol saw. Wants to give it a run. So we'll see. I'll show you how it works. So got water connected to the cold through a hose pipe, connected in here with a little tap, and the water goes through here, squirts onto the blade, suppressing the dust. The only downside is obviously water comes out, so we should see this in action very shortly. Won't start now, it's just cut out, dead. Oy. So, we haven't really got the time to take it apart, find out why. So, we're going to change our plan slightly and cut it with the big grinder, but Dave's going to spray some water on it while we cut it. It's the best we could do, unfortunately. Right, we'll set up for that and let's get on it. Right, so the hose pipe puts out too much water. It's going in the grinder and filling up the holes and stuff. So we're going to try one more thing, and we're going to try a little garden sprayer. It might be a bit better on the amount of water that comes out. It's so frustrating when you have a breakdown like that on the saw, but you've got to make the best you can of it. Morning. So yeah, yesterday had the failure of the cutter, but this morning you can see we did it all dry. So this is where the old pipes were. You can see all the way down to here. So I spoke to Dave, and he wants the pipes in the wall, which is a really good idea. So they come directly out the wall into the radiator. So we need to do a bit of cutting out for the pipes on the wall. And then once that's done, put the screed in. So we'll have done a lot of actual progress, but not a lot of visual progress because everything will be filled in. Right, so all the piping is in. You can see we've got some clips, more clips to put on the 22mm pipe, but you can see now. And the plan is, of course, to have, I'll show you when it's done, but an elbow, copper. I just thought I'd show, these are two of the pipes we've taken out, and they were in the wrap, but you can see the green on it, and you can see, look at this, the corrosion, super easy to bend. Oh yeah, no problem. Welcome back. All the radiator stubs are in. Two over there, two over there. So something that's often missed and not done very often is to flush out the system, or what we've just done. So Dave is on the valve in there, the two valves in that wall. You can just see them there. So I'm going to get him to pressurize this, and then we're going to open this tap and flush the water out of there. But once he opens the 2 valves, we should pressurize this up. So okay, open the valves, both of them. Just go around and check all the joins. So now what we'll do is we'll open this valve here and see. Right, so if you, Dave, if you just open that. That'll do. Just off. Wait, a bit more. That's fine. So that's flushed out there now. So that's just that one pipe going in that direction here. So we're going to now do this one, and then we're going to do those 2 over there and those 2 in there. That's quite boring, so I'll bring you back when that's done and we'll get on filling the holes in. Good morning, it's now Monday, and you just saw us filling in the screed on the floor, but then we stopped, and the reason we stopped is because the sand was too wet, because it was stored outside in bags, and the first 2 bags we had were fine, so that goes all the way up to here, and then you can see it's not quite good enough, and that's because it was, without adding any water, just putting the sand and cement in and mixing it up, it was coming out like concrete basically, not even mortar. So open all the bags Friday night, left them over the weekend, and now I think, yeah, just once you mix the cement in, I think that'll be fine. So today is finish all these channels. So we filled in this bit here, but we found the sand was still too wet, as you can tell. But then we came across this bag, one from there, and it is just right. So I thought I'd show you. It's like light and fluffy, and it just keeps its shape. That's what you want. Absolutely. Oh, it feels fluffy like a cake mix, really. That's perfect, and you can get much better finish than you can when it's wet. So we're all screeded in now. Didn't take us too long. We're now going to go and try and get a sheet of 6mm ply to make the template for the steel manufacturers. The only thing is, it's blowing a gale out there, so manoeuvring this piece is going to be tricky. Good afternoon. So today we are going to do the template up here for the steels. So the idea is we want to remove these flat beams. The idea is we want to remove these beams so we don't have a flat ceiling. We have a pitched roof, which then allowed them to have the window, which is very nice, very nice. Anyway, so we can't just cut these beams out and expect the roof to stay up, because the roof wants to do that. I don't know if you saw that. Each side, like a triangle, wants to come out at the bottom. So, in order to replace these beams, to stop the roof from sliding off at the bottom, it needs to be supported in the middle. So this is the top. So we've got one of our beams going up here, welded, and the same up this side, welded, flat, and it bolts into the central beam that goes across. So there we go. The first thing we're going to do is get some 6mm ply and cut it to 127mm tall, and that will give us loads of these to play with that look like our beams. So to cut this sheet up, I'm going to use a cordless circular saw. This is a 18V DeWalt. Dave's just purchased this, so it's got a brand new blade in, so it should make the job quite easy. The distance between the guide and the blade to 127, which is the height of our metal beams. Here we go, first bit. 5 at 127. So let's take them in the back and see. Right, so this is I've put this steel, well 6mm ply but steel, in line all the way, you can see, so that gives us now the angle that we want on the bottom. Here we have the beam, you can see it's exactly in line with the edge. And it lines up perfectly with this edge is where we want the plate to be. So this line, let me show you. Okay. On here you can see the plate is flat across the top and the beam that we've just put in rests on top. That line you can see on the beam previously is the thickness of this plate. So there you go. That's exactly where we want it, really. I had a bit of spare. Once we cut some off, I'll show you later on. So now we've done this side, we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So what we're going to do is go up to the middle now and have a look at that. But first of all, let's have a look at the plans. So here in the top we have, so these are the bits of ply we've put on going up the side. So we have a cross piece going across, same height, 127, but it meets a beam in the middle. Now that for us is not our concern with the template. You can see it just continues through. The two flanges and they're actually bigger, so we'll let them do that. All we're interested in is the angles and this cross piece, where that is, and the size of this packer at the top. So this is our top detail. If you look at it here, you can almost see the plan. Got our side beams, two, and then one that was going to go across here. But the question is, what height is this? So the top beam is going to sit, let's do this, up here, similar to this, like that, to support this ridge beam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cross piece that fits in, that will miss these beams, because if it goes too far that way, it's going to hit that beam or that beam. So we want it to sit there in the middle. So this is the cross piece. I've left a space here for a 30mm piece of timber. That'll allow any variations in the ridge beam to be accounted for once it's in. So what we're going to do is cut and remove that, and then draw on the centre of where the ridge beam is, because that might be slightly off to one side, you never know. Yeah, that's it. Then fix these pieces together, and then we can mark it up with some writing, and I'll probably put a brace from here to there to keep the distance exact. This is my template done. So the top beam, you can just see, in fact, I'll get a better view. This one here, that's the actual steel. The bottom one is just a brace to keep it at the right distance apart. So now we've got to get it down, cut it into bits to go in the van. So this is the half of the template. This is the other bit, so we can get it in the van. So we're going to do a test now, reassemble it here, to see if we can get it back to its original size. We took some measurements, so let's see. Yeah. Okay, so that's the template done. We can disassemble it with these screws to put it in the van, reassemble it, and then I've put a line here, A and B on the other side, and we make sure it's a specific measurement between the two before we tighten these screws in, and that will give us our exact size. So that's it. We're going to take this down tomorrow to the fabrication place. Some measurements for the other steels as well, which we're going to take in the morning, and that's it for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to return home on the plane, and then in a couple of weeks we'll fly back, and hopefully these should be here and we can carry on. But that's it for this part. See you on the next one.